The crystal glasses catch the light as I adjust them for the third time. Perfect symmetry. Perfect evening. My hands are steady as I place the manila envelope beside Michael's plate. Surprising, given how my heart hammers against my ribs. 5 years of marriage reduced to legal documents, hidden beneath crisp linen napkins. I hear his key in the door as I light the last candle. "Caroline? Something smells amazing," he calls out, his voice still capable of sending that familiar flutter through me. But tonight, that flutter mixes with something darker, more resolute. I've rehearsed this moment for weeks, imagined his face when the facade finally crumbles. Michael kisses my cheek, oblivious to what waits for him. I wonder if he notices how I stiffen, how my smile doesn't reach my eyes. He's dressed well, new shirt, fresh haircut, making an effort for once. Too little, too late. "Wine," I offer, my voice honeyed with false warmth. As we sit, he looks around appreciatively at the candlelight, the good china, the effort I've made. "What's the occasion?" he asks, reaching for my hand across the table. I let him take it, one last touch before everything changes. "I wanted tonight to be special," I reply, watching him smile with satisfaction. He thinks this is reconciliation. He thinks the cold war of silent breakfasts and separate bedrooms is ending. He has no idea. When he finally notices the envelope, confusion crosses his face. "What's this?" he asks, picking it up casually as if it might contain concert tickets or a gift certificate. I take a slow sip of wine, savouring the moment. "Open it," I say softly. "I think you'll find it illuminating." As he pulls out the documents, I watch recognition dawn in his eyes. First puzzlement, then disbelief, followed by that panicked look I've been waiting for. The colour drains from his face as he flips through pages bearing our names, legal terms, signatures, mine already in place. "Caroline, what is this?" But he knows exactly what it is. 5 years of lies, of secret messages to Rebecca from work, of late meetings that smelled like another woman's perfume, all catching up to him at once as I calmly cut into my steak. I wasn't always this calculating, this cold. There was a time when I believed in the magic of us, Michael and Caroline, the perfect couple with the perfect life. We met in graduate school, both ambitious and driven. I was pursuing my master's in art history while he was climbing the corporate ladder. Our friends called us power couple goals. We'd host dinner parties where everyone would marvel at how in sync we were, finishing each other's sentences, laughing at inside jokes no one else understood. The proposal was everything I dreamed of. A weekend trip to the coast, sunset on the beach, diamond ring catching the last rays of light. I said yes before he finished asking. We planned a wedding that made it onto local lifestyle blogs. My dress was custom made, his vows made everyone cry. My father, who rarely showed emotion, hugged Michael and whispered, "Take care of my little girl." Michael promised he would. Another lie to add to the collection I didn't yet know he was building. The first 2 years were blissful. We bought our dream home in the suburbs, 4 bedrooms for the children we planned to have, a backyard perfect for summer barbecues, an open-plan kitchen where I could indulge my passion for cooking while he worked at the island counter. We painted walls together, argued playfully about furniture placement, and christened every room with lovemaking that left us breathless and giddy. Looking back, I can pinpoint when things began to change. It was subtle at first, late nights at the office becoming more frequent. The gentle kiss goodbye in the morning replaced by a distracted wave, weekend plans cancelled for emergency meetings. I told myself this was normal, just the ebb and flow of marriage and careers. I focused on my work at the gallery, threw myself into redecorating the house, joined a book club to fill my increasingly empty evenings. Then came the business trip to Chicago. 3 days that should have been unremarkable. He called each night telling me about boring conferences and mediocre hotel food. I believed him until I was going through our credit card statement and noticed a charge for a romantic restaurant I knew about. $347 for dinner for two. When I casually mentioned it, he had an explanation ready. Entertaining a client, standard procedure, company would reimburse us. His answer came too quickly, his eyes never meeting mine. That night, while he showered, I did something I'd promised myself I would never do. I checked his phone. The passcode was my birthday. Some things hadn't changed, but everything else had. There they were, hundreds of text messages to Rebecca from marketing, sweet nothings, inside jokes, explicit photos, plans for their Chicago rendezvous. My hand shook so violently I nearly dropped his phone into the sink. I forwarded key messages to myself as evidence, then deleted the forwarded items from his sent folder. My heart had shattered, but my mind was clear. I would not confront him, not yet. For 6 months I lived a double life, devoted wife on the outside, private investigator behind closed doors. I documented everything, his unexplained absences, credit card charges that didn't align with his stories, the lipstick shade on his collar that wasn't mine. I hired a private investigator who provided me with photos of romantic dinners, hotel check-ins, passionate kisses in parking garages. I met with a divorce attorney who assured me I had enough evidence for a favourable settlement. Through it all, I maintained the perfect facade. I still cooked his favourite meals, still asked about his day, still performed my wifely duties in the bedroom, all while imagining the moment I would finally show my hand. My friends noticed I'd lost weight, asked if I was feeling well. Just stressed about work, I'd say with a smile that never reached my eyes. My mother called more frequently, sensing something was off. "Are you and Michael okay?" she'd ask. Never better, I'd lie, adding another brick to the wall I was building around my heart. The decision to serve him the papers over a romantic dinner was born from a dark place inside me I didn't know existed, until Michael's betrayal excavated it. There was a certain poetry to ending our marriage in the same setting where we'd celebrated so many milestones. Anniversaries, promotions, the night we decided to try for a baby. Before I discovered he was secretly getting vasectomy consultations because Rebecca doesn't want kids. So, I planned every detail of this dinner with the precision of a military operation. The menu featured all his favourites. The tomato bisque we'd had on our first date, the filet mignon he always ordered on special occasions, the chocolate soufflé that made him close his eyes in pleasure. I selected a wine from the year we met, pulled out the wedding china we hadn't used in years, and placed fresh-cut flowers from our garden in the crystal vase his mother had given us. The table setting was immaculate, polished silver gleaming in the candlelight, linen napkins folded into perfect swans, the finest crystal glasses singing softly when I ran my finger along their rims. Everything designed to create the illusion of reconciliation, of hope. Everything positioned to maximize his shock when he realizes it's actually a farewell dinner. I spent the afternoon preparing myself as meticulously as I'd prepared the meal. A long bath with expensive oils, careful makeup application that highlighted my features while concealing the months of sleepless nights, a new dress in the deep blue shade he always said brought out my eyes, my armour for battle, my costume for the final act. As I hear him moving around in the dining room, I take a deep breath and leave the kitchen, 2 plates of appetizers balanced in my hands. His face, that face I once thought was the most handsome in the world, lights up when he sees me. There's a flicker of desire in his eyes that once would have thrilled me. Now it just fuels my resolve. "Caroline, you look breathtaking," he says, standing to pull out my chair. Always the gentleman in these superficial ways. "Thank you," I reply, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside me. "I wanted to make an effort tonight." "Is there something I'm forgetting?" he asks, that slight edge of panic men get when they think they've missed an anniversary or birthday. "A special occasion?" I smile enigmatically. You could say that. Let's eat before everything gets cold. We make small talk as we work through the appetizers. He tells me about his day at the office, careful to mention that Rebecca is out sick. A detail I know is false because my PI confirmed their lunch date at the boutique hotel downtown. I nod and ask appropriate questions, playing my part flawlessly. I tell him about a new exhibit coming to the gallery, plans for the garden, a call from my sister. Normal wife things, as if my world isn't about to explode. When I bring out the main course, his eyes widen in appreciation. You've gone all out, he says, cutting into his perfectly cooked steak. This is incredible. I'm glad you think so, I reply, watching him savour the first bite. I wanted everything to be memorable tonight. His phone buzzes in his pocket. I see the internal struggle play out on his face, the desire to check it battling with the knowledge that doing so would be inappropriate given the effort I've made. For once, courtesy wins. He ignores it and focuses on me. You were saying about tonight being memorable? I nod toward his plate. There's something for you, under the napkin. He looks confused but intrigued, setting down his fork to lift the corner of his napkin. The edge of the manila envelope peeks out, innocuous yet devastating. What's this? An early birthday present? He asks, clearly hoping I've planned some romantic surprise, perhaps tickets to see his favourite band or reservations at that exclusive resort he's been hinting about. I take a sip of wine, holding his gaze over the rim of my glass. Why don't you open it and find out? As Michael pulls the envelope toward him, my pulse quickens. This is the moment I've rehearsed in my mind hundreds of times. He slides his finger under the seal, tearing it open with the casual confidence of a man who believes himself untouchable. His eyes scan the first page, confusion crinkling his brow. Petition for dissolution of marriage, he reads aloud, his voice cracking slightly. His eyes dart up to meet mine, searching for any sign that this is some elaborate joke. Finding none, he continues reading, each word visibly landing like a physical blow. Caroline, what is this? I don't understand. I take another bite of my perfectly cooked steak, chewing slowly, savouring not just the flavour but the moment. 5 years of deception unravelling in real time. I think the documents are quite clear, Michael. I finally respond, my voice eerily calm even to my own ears. I'm filing for divorce. He shakes his head, papers trembling in his hands. But why? We've been working through things. I thought we were getting better. The disbelief in his voice would be almost convincing if I hadn't seen the hotel receipt from yesterday tucked into his wallet this morning when I was searching for stamps. Working through things, I echo, allowing the first hint of bitterness to seep into my tone. Is that what you call sleeping with Rebecca from marketing for the past 18 months? Working through things? The colour drains from his face. His mouth opens and closes several times like a fish suddenly finding itself on dry land. How did I know? I place my fork down carefully, aligning it perfectly with the edge of my plate. You weren't exactly careful, Michael. The late-night texts, the mysterious weekend conferences, the credit card charges that never quite added up. Did you really think I wouldn't notice the perfume on your shirts? That distinctive Chanel No. 5 that I'm allergic to, remember? He rakes his fingers through his hair, that nervous gesture I once found endearing. It was a mistake, a stupid mistake. It didn't mean anything. It's 18 months of mistakes. I laugh, a hollow sound that bounces off the dining room walls. That's quite the extended error in judgment. I can explain, he pleads, reaching for my hand across the table. I pull back before he can touch me. Don't, I warn. There's nothing to explain. I've seen the text messages, Michael. I've seen the photos. I know about the weekend in Vermont when you were supposedly at a sales conference in Detroit. I know about the earrings you bought her for Christmas, the ones that cost more than you've spent on me in the last 3 years combined. His face contorts with shock. You've been spying on me? I prefer to call it due diligence, I reply, reaching for my wine glass. Necessary research before making a major life decision. Caroline, please. His voice cracks again, desperation bleeding through. We can fix this. We can go to counselling. I'll end things with Rebecca. I swear it's over. I tilt my head, studying him as if he's a curious specimen under a microscope. You already tried that line 3 months ago, remember? The night you came home with that bracelet for me, swearing you'd been working late because you were shopping for my surprise. I checked your location history, Michael. You were at her apartment until you stopped at the mall on your way home. He slumps back in his chair, the fight visibly draining from him as he realises just how thoroughly I've documented his betrayal. How long have you known? Long enough to secure an excellent divorce attorney and document every instance of your infidelity. I gesture to the papers still clutched in his hand. You'll notice on page 4 that I'm asking for the house, 60% of our joint assets, and my full individual retirement account. His eyes widen as he flips frantically through the papers. This is insane. You're trying to clean me out. Actually, I'm being quite reasonable given the circumstances. I take another sip of wine, enjoying its rich complexity. I could have asked for alimony, but I decided I don't want any ongoing financial ties to you. I'd rather make a clean break. You can't do this, he mutters, but the panic in his eyes tells me he knows I absolutely can. We need to talk about this. Really talk. We're talking now, I point out, though I notice you haven't denied any of my allegations. Interesting. He places the papers down carefully, as if they might detonate if handled roughly. I watch him visibly shift strategies, his sales director training kicking in as he searches for an angle, a way to regain control of the situation. His face softens, eyes growing earnest. Caroline, I love you. I've always loved you. And Rebecca, I challenge, do you love her too? Or what about Stephanie from accounting, who you took to dinner last week? Or that redhead from the gym, whose name I don't know, but whose apartment you visited twice last month? His jaw drops. There's no... Save it, I cut him off. I have the receipts, Michael. Literally and figuratively. I reach into my purse beside the table and pull out a slim folder, sliding it across the table. Credit card statements, hotel folios, screenshots of text messages, GPS location history. My attorney has copies of everything. He doesn't touch the folder, staring at it like it's poisonous. You've been planning this for a while, he says slowly, the reality of his situation finally dawning on him. 6 months, 2 weeks, and 3 days, I confirm. Ever since Chicago. Recognition flashes across his face. The dinner at Alinea. Precisely. $347 for dinner for 2, plus an $80 bottle of champagne. A bit extravagant for a client dinner, especially since your supposed client was actually in Seattle that week. I checked. Michael reaches for his wine glass and drains it in one long swallow. Why all this? He asks, gesturing around at the elaborate dinner setup. Why not just have your lawyer send these over? Why the performance? I lean forward, my voice dropping to just above a whisper. Because I wanted to see your face, Michael. I wanted to watch you realise that you're not as clever as you think you are. That all those times you thought you were getting away with it, I was one step ahead. I wanted to watch your perfect little world crumble, just like mine did that night in Chicago. His hand trembles as he refills his wine glass. I never meant to hurt you, he says, but the words ring hollow in the candlelit room. Another lie to add to the collection, I reply, my voice tight. You know what the saddest part is? I actually believed we were happy for the first 3 years. I thought we were building something real. Remember all those plans we made? The trips we were going to take? The family we were going to start? Pain flashes across his face. At least he has the decency to look ashamed. I did love you, Caroline. I still do. Love isn't supposed to devastate you, I whisper, feeling the first crack in my carefully constructed armour. It isn't supposed to make you question your own sanity, your own worth. I'm sorry, he says, and for the first time tonight, he sounds genuinely remorseful. I'm so sorry. I know you are, I acknowledge. You're sorry you got caught. He flinches as if I've slapped him. That's not fair. None of this is fair, Michael. I gesture toward the papers. But it's reality, our reality. I suggest you review those documents with your attorney. Mine is expecting to hear from them by the end of the week. His phone buzzes again, this time persistently. We both know who it is. Aren't you going to answer that? I ask innocently. Rebecca must be wondering why you're late. He ignores the phone, his eyes never leaving mine. How did we get here? He asks, sounding genuinely bewildered. When did everything go so wrong? I consider his question carefully, thinking back through the years of our marriage. I think it was always there, the potential for this ending. You never really saw me, Michael. You saw the version of me that fit into your perfect life narrative, the successful wife who would look good at company parties, who would maintain the beautiful home, who wouldn't ask too many questions about your late nights or business trips. That's not true, he protests, but it lacks conviction. Isn't it? I challenge. When was the last time you asked me about my dreams, about what I wanted from life? You assumed my gallery work was just a hobby, something to keep me occupied while you built your career. You never took it seriously, just like you never took us seriously. He looks stricken. I supported your work at the gallery. You tolerated it, I correct him. There's a difference. Support would have been showing up to my exhibition openings instead of sending flowers with apology cards. Support would have been asking about my artists, my projects, my goals. The weight of truth settles between us, heavy and undeniable. 5 years of marriage dissected on a table, set for a celebration that will never happen. What happens now? He finally asks, his voice small, defeated. Now, I say, standing up smoothly, you finish your dinner if you'd like. The soufflé will be ready in about 15 minutes. I'll be in the guest room packing an overnight bag. I'm staying at Sophie's tonight. When I return tomorrow, I expect you to have removed your essential items. You can arrange to collect the rest once you've found a permanent place to stay. You're kicking me out tonight. Disbelief colours his voice. Caroline, where am I supposed to go? I smile thinly. I hear Rebecca has a very comfortable sofa. Or there's always the Marriott downtown. Your choice? His face hardens. This is my house too. I don't have to leave. Actually, you do. I reach back into my purse and pull out another document. This is a temporary restraining order. My attorney filed it this afternoon after I provided evidence of your verbal abuse during our argument last week. Remember when you called me a paranoid bitch and threw your glass against the wall? Our neighbour heard everything and provided a statement. The colour drains from his face as he takes in this new information. You've thought of everything, he says quietly. I had to, I reply simply. Self-preservation. His shoulders slump in defeat. Can we at least talk about this tomorrow, when we've both had time to process? I consider his request, weighing my desire for complete separation against the practical aspects of unwinding a 5-year marriage. My attorney will contact yours, I say finally. Any communication should go through proper channels from now on. He nods slowly, looking around the dining room, as if seeing it for the last time. In many ways, he is. Did you ever think we'd end up here? He asks, his voice catching. When we said our vows, did you ever imagine this scene? The question pierces through my carefully maintained composure. For a brief moment, I allow myself to remember our wedding day, the hope, the joy, the absolute certainty that we would beat the odds. No, I admit softly. I believed in us. In you, that was my mistake. Michael pushes back from the table, the divorce papers still clutched in his hand. I know you won't believe me, he says, but I never stopped loving you, even during the worst of it. I just got lost somehow. Love without loyalty is just empty words, Michael, I reply, feeling suddenly exhausted by the performance I've been putting on. Please, just go. He stands, hesitating beside the table. For a moment, I think he might try to touch me, a final embrace, a goodbye kiss, but he respects the invisible barrier between us. I'll get some things, he says quietly. I'll be out within the hour. As he turns to leave, I call after him, the soufflé. He pauses, looking back at me with confusion. It was always your favourite, I explain, my voice steady despite the emotion swirling inside me. I thought you might want one last taste of what you're leaving behind. Understanding dawns in his eyes. This isn't just about dessert. It's about everything he's losing. Our home, our shared life, the future we'd planned together. I don't deserve your soufflé, he says quietly. No, I agree, you don't. But I didn't make it for you. I made it for me. A reminder that I can still create something beautiful, even when everything around me is falling apart. He nods once, acknowledging the metaphor, then disappears down the hallway towards our bedroom. I listen to his familiar footsteps, the opening and closing of drawers, the soft thud of a suitcase being placed on the bed, the soundtrack of a marriage ending. I pour myself another glass of wine and wait for the timer to signal that the soufflé is ready. Despite everything, it will rise perfectly, a small victory on a night of great reckoning. And tomorrow, I will begin the process of rising myself, of rebuilding the life that Michael's betrayal tried to destroy. The soufflé timer rings just as I hear the front door close behind him. Perfect timing, as always. The house feels different after Michael leaves, emptier yet somehow lighter, as if his departure has lifted a physical weight from the walls themselves. I move through the rooms, blowing out candles one by one, collecting the barely touched dinner plates. The soufflé sits on the counter, perfectly risen, then slowly collapsing in on itself. A fitting metaphor for our marriage. I wrap myself in a blanket on the couch and dial Sophie's number. She answers immediately. It's done, I tell her, my voice finally betraying the emotion I've held back all evening. How did he take it? She asks softly. About as expected. Shock, denial, bargaining, the classic stages of a cheater caught in his own web. I curl deeper into the cushions. He's gone now. Do you need me to come over? I consider her offer but shake my head, though she can't see it. No, I need to be alone tonight, to process everything. After we hang up, I wander through the house, seeing it with new eyes. My house now, not ours. In the bedroom, Michael's dresser drawers stand half open, hastily emptied. His nightstand cleared of the book he was reading, the charging cables, the water glass. In the bathroom, gaps on the counter where his toiletries used to be. It's as if someone has taken an eraser and begun to remove him from the picture, leaving smudges and blank spaces. I run my finger along his side of the bed, still neatly made from this morning. Tomorrow, I'll change these sheets, replace them with the new set I bought. Soft Egyptian cotton in a shade of blue that has nothing to do with what Michael said brought out my eyes. My phone buzzes with a text. Michael, we need to talk, please. I don't respond. Another text arrives. I'm at the Marriott downtown, room 718. Please come, we can fix this. I block his number. As midnight approaches, I finally allow myself to cry. The tears come in a torrent, hot and fast, soaking my pillow as I clutch it to my chest. I cry for the young woman who believed in forever, for the love that wasn't strong enough, for the family we'll never have. I cry until there's nothing left but hollow exhaustion. Sleep eludes me, so I retreat to my home office. From the filing cabinet, I retrieve the thick folder of evidence. Screenshots of text messages, credit card statements, PI photographs, hotel receipts. 6 months dedicated to documenting the death of my marriage, each piece a shield against his gaslighting. I consider burning it all, but decide against it. The divorce proceedings might still require them. Dawn breaks as I sit by the window, watching the neighbourhood come to life. Mr. Jenkins retrieving his newspaper, Mrs. Patel walking her corgi, the Hernandez children waiting for the school bus. Ordinary moments continuing regardless of my personal earthquake. My phone rings, Sophie checking in. "I am bringing bagels," she declares. "We're making a plan for your first day of freedom." After we hang up, I shower and change. Jeans and a comfortable sweater, not the armour-like dress from last night. My reflection looks both familiar and strange. Same features, different light in my eyes. Sadness, yes, but something else too. Possibility, perhaps. Sophie arrives with the breakfast and a small potted plant. "For new beginnings," she explains. "We spend the morning making calls, checking accounts, researching locksmiths. By noon, we've lined up someone to change the locks, confirmed all bank accounts are intact, and notified my attorney that the divorce proceedings are officially underway." "What about the emotional stuff?" Sophie asks over lunch. "Are you going to do therapy?" "I made an appointment for next week," I tell her. "I know I seem like I have it all together, with the planning and the dinner and all of it. But inside, I'm a mess, Sophie. I keep swinging between vindication and devastation." "That's normal," she assures me. "You'd be a robot if you weren't feeling both." The locksmith arrives at 3, efficiently changing every lock in the house. I watch him work, each turn of his screwdriver another step towards securing my new life. When he hands me the new keys, I feel a strange sense of finality. This house is truly mine alone now. "We should celebrate," Sophie suggests as the locksmith leaves. Nothing extravagant, just a small acknowledgement that you've taken back control. I hesitate, then nod. "Let's open that bottle of champagne I've been saving." The bottle in question, a Dom Perignon I'd purchased for our 5th anniversary, hidden away before I discovered Michael's betrayal. It seems fitting to repurpose it now. We toast on the back patio as the sun begins its descent. "To new beginnings," Sophie offers. "To truth," I counter, clinking my glass against hers. After Sophie leaves, I find myself drawn to the home office again. This time, I open my laptop and navigate to the gallery website I've been developing secretly for months. Phoenix Rising Art Collective. My vision for an independent gallery showcasing female artists who've overcome personal traumas. I'd pitched the concept to my current gallery's owner months ago, but he dismissed it as too niche, too personal. So I decided to build it myself. I update the launch date 2 months from today. Accelerated from my original timeline, but suddenly I'm impatient to move forward. I've been laying this groundwork alongside my divorce preparations, channeling my pain into purpose. My phone rings, an unknown number. Against my better judgment, I answer. "Caroline." Michael's voice, thick with emotion. "Please don't hang up." I should end the call immediately, but curiosity keeps me on the line. "What do you want?" "Just to talk," he pleads. 5 minutes, that's all I'm asking. "We have nothing to discuss that can't go through our attorneys," I reply coldly. 5 years of marriage deserves more than legal documents, he argues. "You blindsided me, Caroline. You owed me a conversation before lawyers and divorce papers." Something snaps inside me. "Owed you? I owed you. After 18 months of lies. After you made me question my own sanity. After you looked me in the eye day after day while sleeping with another woman." "I made a terrible mistake," he says, voice cracking. "Multiple mistakes. But I never stopped loving you." "Love isn't supposed to destroy the person you claim to care about," I reply, surprised by how steady my voice remains, despite the fury building inside me. "You didn't love me, Michael. You loved having me. The perfect wife in your perfect house supporting your perfect career. but you never saw me. Silence stretches between us. When he finally speaks, his voice is small. I see you now. Too late, but I do. Yes, I agree, too late. After hanging up, I return to the patio with my laptop. The setting sun paints the sky in brilliant oranges and pinks as I continue working on my gallery website, adding details to the launch event page. I've already secured commitments from 3 artists I admire, women whose work explores themes of betrayal, renewal, and female resilience. As darkness falls, I light the outdoor fire pit, a feature Michael always complained was a waste of money. The flames dance hypnotically as I sip the last of the champagne. On impulse, I retrieve my wedding album from the bookshelf. I don't open it, don't need to see the smiling faces captured in time, promises made and broken. Instead, I hold it over the fire, feeling its weight one last time before letting it go. The flames lick at the expensive leather cover, slowly consuming the photographic evidence of what I once thought was perfect happiness. I don't watch it burn completely. Some endings don't need to be witnessed in their entirety. Back inside, I change into silk pajamas, another purchase Michael would have questioned the expense of, and climb into bed. For the first time in months, I don't position myself carefully on my side. Instead, I sprawl diagonally across the mattress, claiming every inch of space. My phone chimes with an email notification. It's from one of the artists I've been courting for my gallery. She's sending new work for me to consider, pieces created during her own divorce last year. The subject line reads, "From the Ashes." I smile in the darkness. Tomorrow will bring more practical tasks, more legal manoeuvres, more untangling of 5 intertwined years. But tonight, lying in my bed, in my house with my future unfolding before me, I feel something unexpected. Hope. Not the naive hope of my wedding day, but something harder, stronger, forged in the fire of painful truth. The hope that comes from facing your worst fears and surviving them. The hope that reminds you endings are also beginnings, if you're brave enough to see them that way. I fall asleep, planning the phoenix that will rise from these ashes. Wings spread wide, eyes fierce, soaring toward a horizon limited only by my own imagination.